I did not think when I started doing these several indie palettes, several looks, that this was going to be such a long-going like series here on my channel, but you really seem to enjoy them and I love doing them as well. And I feel like it's such a nice like slice of what's going on in the indie community right now. And I also have been seeing other creators do them as well, and I think that's amazing. Just to be able to gather more releases in one video so that we're able to do some comparisons and give you some thoughts without having you know, no time to sleep and do like 3 million looks. This is such a nice way to just gather it all here together. We are going to be talking about 6 different palettes today. We're going to be talking about the Gourmande Girls Bitten palette. We are going to be talking about the Snow Angel palette by Simply Posh Cosmetics, the reformulated Not Normal palette by Unearthly Cosmetics, the Monk palette by Fantasy Cosmetica, the Morally Grey palette by Bella Beauté, which is the one that I'm wearing right now. This is going to be the last look, and the first look is going to be with the Plastic palette by Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I am going to do as I always do with these videos, which is a little bit of a chatty intro, and then I do close-up, swatches, and a look with each of these palettes. I will be dividing up into chapters as well so that you can click in between, because this isn't a shop with me kind of a video. That's not what we're doing here. This is me showing you what's new on the market, letting you know how I feel about them, giving you some swatches, giving you some thoughts, giving you a demo, and if you were interested in any of these palettes, at least you have some information for you to gather your thoughts, whether or not you want to try it. And if you are not interested in any of these palettes, that's perfectly fine too. Just see this as a 6 different eye tutorials to give you some inspiration to shop your stash and to do something similar with what you have at home. I do try to do different kinds of techniques in all looks so that you can maybe find something new to try out. All of these palettes were sent to me as PR, and you can use the discount code Angelica with all of these palettes and get 10% off your order in case you are interested. Both the Morally Grey by Bella Beauté, which is this cool tone palette, and the Monk palette by Fantasy Cosmetica, which is this totally opposite warm tone palette, both of those are releasing today on the 29th. Later today they're going to be available. They're dropping, like release day is today. And they're also going to be a restock of the Fantasy Cosmetica Souls. I keep forgetting what it's called. Harvest of Souls. That palette is also restocking today, and my code also works on that one. I know a bunch of you are interested in getting that one because I actually did name that palette the best palette of 2024. So if you were interested in that palette, it restocks today. So I just wanted to let you know about that one as well. The other palettes are already available. I will link all the things down below. We'll divide into chapters. I'll give you my code. I'll give you the information, the pricing, the release time, all of that in the description box down below. But let's jump in to look number 1, which is going to be a very bright pink look that is the look that I wore in my Cinch Beauty reveal video, because I revealed my new collection with Cinch Beauty, which is my own beauty brand, yesterday. The first look is going to be that pink look. So we are going to play with the Plastics, which is the new palette by Blend Bunny, and it has this really like bright pinks on the side that I really want to play with. There are like some contrasts that's like you could have with this palette, but I think I mainly honestly want to play with these two. So we're gonna start with Pseudo Celeb, which is this like bright pink. I don't even think it shows up as pink as it really is on camera. Maybe here it's a little better. I'm just putting this pink color all in my crease, and I'm very excited to do something super pink. I haven't done something like truly bright pink in a hot minute, and immediately when I saw that, like this pink matte and that pink metallic, I was like, oh, we're definitely doing that. I'm putting some of the pink under my eyes too. By the way, I'm actually like filming at the same time as I'm filming this. I'm actually filming the b-roll and my reveal video for my new brushes that have already been revealed as you're seeing this video, and it's just so unreal to be able to finally not have to sneak around and use these new brushes that I am so proud of. So I have them all here in front of me. So this is just shameless plug for my own brand, Singe Beauty. We are launching new brushes and I'm so proud of them. And this pencil brush, I worked so hard to get it to be exactly the way that I want it. Pointy, but not too pointy, and like detailed, but not too detailed. Fluffy, but not like too fluffy. Like I want to have some precision. I'm very proud of these. That's besides the point. And then with the flat brush, I think we're gonna go in with Faux, which is that like shimmery pink. I keep saying it like, I think incorrectly. I mean, it is a French word and I keep getting corrected by Americans. I don't know how you say it here and I probably am not saying it correctly in French either. I am gonna spritz it just to be a little precise. With this flat brush, you can definitely be a little precise and you can press down the shadow that's a little bit more textured. I will say this shadow, it's not like it's more like a traditional shimmer. It doesn't have a lot of sparkle to it. It's not a very foily shadow. That's not necessarily something wrong with that. I just personally prefer something that has a little bit more sparkle to it so that it is like an updated shimmer formula. I like a shimmer formula that's not too oily or emollient, doesn't crease. This one will probably not crease on me, but that has a little bit more sparkle to it than this one does, even though I think the tone of it is beautiful. So I'm gonna play a little bit with the brown and with the black, because I think I want to deepen up a little bit with the brown, and then I think we're going to use the black as just a little bit of a liner detail. So we're putting a little bit of the brown in the outer corner and just using this more stubby blender packer brush out here to just blend that in and get a good shade. I like that it just gave a little bit of shade, and like I said, we are going to be playing with the black. And we're gonna do a little bit of a liner situation. I might do it in the inner corner too. I'm gonna be using the light beige that's called Purchased, and we're gonna do that just a little bit in the inner corner. Not a perfect inner corner shade for me, but just to lighten things up a bit before we get into that little liner color. So I created a little wing out here and a little bit in the inner corner with this bent eyeliner brush. I feel like these are so easy to work with because you don't have to change the way that you hold the brush. You can still hold it the way that you're used to holding a brush, and you can lean it against like your chest basically and get that kind of like stability that I feel like you need when you're working with an eyeliner. So I'm just using the black eyeshadow and I am just drawing on a little bit of a line. Nothing intense. You can see I'm not doing a lot. And I'm just shading with a black shadow. This is something that you can definitely do. Oh, I feel like I need to pluck. I get some hairs in my inner corner. Am I the only one? I feel like this is something you can definitely do just with a little bit of shadow to get a little bit of extra drama and definition to an eye that's like a little bit more simple, but using a shadow makes it easier than using a liquid, but you can still use an eyeliner brush. Okay, so I'm just finishing this up, and then I think that's gonna be the look. I think it looks great. Okay, so I put some mascara on and I thought we'd do a little bit. Is this Exit? No, this is Swerve. I keep forgetting which one is Exit and which one is Swerve. This is just the black liner and I'm just gonna do that in my waterline. And I think this will be a good one because I think this is the look I wanna have with my eyes, just making them a little bit more sexy. I think that will be good. And then I'll put a half lash on. Okay, that is my first look of this video. And this is with the plastic palette by Blend Money Cosmetics. I really like the mattes. I really love the tones of these. They're so bright, like neon, not neon, but like really, really bright Barbie pink. And I actually really enjoy it. I did use a couple of these shades. This one is like the same depth as my skin tone, so it's not really an inner corner highlight for me, but it means that if you have a deeper skin tone than me, you can definitely use this shade to lighten up a little bit. I do like that there's a black in here because I feel like it goes really well with these tones, and it's really nice to deepen up a pink with black because you can still keep it pink and not like make it into a red or make it into a purple, like it's still a pink. So I do appreciate that. There's a couple of other tones in here as well that I think look really interesting, and I cannot wait to play with those as well. But for this look, I just really wanted to play with just the bright pinks here. I will say this is very much a traditional shimmer. It's not super sparkly, it's not super emollient or like foily. It is just a shimmer, which again, sometimes can be really nice. I do wish that this one would have been a little bit more sparkly, but I also think just looking at this palette that I probably picked the one shade that does look, and you've already seen the swatches, does look more like a traditional shimmer, but I just really love the undertone. I mean, this look is super striking, so I'm super excited, but let's get into look number 2. Okay, so I showed you some swatches of the lip gloss and the blush in the color that I am going to be picking, because I think the other two, I'm just going to be giving them away. One of them is a little bit probably too dark for me, and one of them is just a cool toned like baby pink. So I will be using this one. This is a mid-tone. This is in Frosty. It's like a mid-tone, almost like a cool tone mauve. And this one could work for me. I did swatch it and I noticed it's pretty pigmented, so I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm gonna treat this like I would the Rare Beauty or the Juvia's Place blush, which is like, this is pigmented, you only need 1 drop. Okay, I do think that this is a little bit too cool tone for me. If this had been just a smidgen more like transparent, I would have been able to get away with this, and this would have blended into my skin tone. I recently used that lilac blush by Huda Beauty, and the reason why I think that that one works is that it has a little bit of a sheen to it, and it's a little bit more opaque than this one. I feel like this one does give me a little bit of that almost white cast on my cheek. I'll put a little bit of a highlighter on top though, so I think we'll be fine, but that's just my initial impression. If you have a cool undertone, I definitely think, I saw long hair, I definitely think you'll be able to get away with this. But if you have a little bit more of a warmer undertone, I describe myself as a light medium with a neutral golden undertone. If I ever see a foundation that's described as that, that usually works for me. But I think this one is just a smidgen too much. So I have this highlighter in Moth to a Flame. It's like a peachy undertone. It's from Unearthly Cosmetics. And I think we're just gonna brush a little bit of this on, because this is a little bit more of a fiery peach highlighter. And I think that when we put this on, it's gonna A, blend in easier to my skin tone, and B, make it a little bit more warmer. So let's do that. I still think that it's looking a little bit of a gray tone over here. Not perfect for my skin tone, but listen, it is what it is. We all need to experiment a little bit, you know, try new things. I'm just gonna blend out with the bronzer brush over here. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So let's try the gloss. I did actually wear this gloss yesterday just to try it out. And I will say, it has a little bit of an almost a slight, almost perfumey like hint or like smell to it. And and also has a slight perfumey taste to it, which I don't love. But I like how it looks. It is creamy and gives a nice sheen, but not like a glass-like finish. It is a milky one that has color, but it's not opaque. And it feels really beautiful on the lips. I just wish it didn't have that taste. And the color that I decided to wear is Let It Snow, which is like more of a, almost like coffee with milk. It's like a beige that has some milk in it. It's pretty. It's pretty. I wish it didn't have that flavor. Okay, I'm gonna blend out my primer and we are gonna go in with some eyeshadow. So, time for the Snow Angel palette. I love Simply Posh Cosmetics eyeshadows and I'm super, super excited. I kind of want to do, this is really pretty green to purple. I mean, you can see here. I want to figure out what we want to use. I have this blue dress on, but I'm not going to keep this. I'm having it on while I'm going to, listen, I'm a true YouTuber. I put something cute on for filming, but I'm not going to have that on while going out. But I do want to have something that matches what I have going on. Maybe I'll do one eye on each, like one color on each eye, and I'll do the blue on one and the green on one. I haven't done that in a bit, and I'm like, I'm really feeling that, so I might do that. So I'm gonna start with Misty, which is the green, and I'm gonna put that out here. I've told you before, the trick to doing, this is by the way the EO10, which is the new outer corner brush that we are releasing with Singe Beauty. But I've told you before, the trick with doing two different colored eye looks is to do the same shape, the same depth on both sides, so that it is cohesive in another way. Doesn't necessarily need to be cohesive in the colors if it is cohesive in the shape and the depth. And I'm gonna do the blue deep snow out here. And I'm just gonna do a little bit, like you can see, and this looks really choppy, but it's because I haven't blended it out yet. We're gonna do that in a bit. I'm also gonna put the same color under the eyes too. So now on the blue side, we're doing Icy Blue. Oh, let me see if we can get some of the creasing out from the primer. And I'm gonna put that. Ooh, that's so cute. I'm gonna put that, not all the way into the inner corner, but in the inner part of the crease. Ooh, I love how creamy the shadows are from Simply Posh. And this looks so nice. And I'm also dotting a little bit on the edge here, so that we can blend it out. And this is an EO4. And I'm gonna put a little bit under, and I'm also gonna put a little bit in here. And now I'm gonna go back with a little bit of the deep snow, which is the dark blue. And I'm just gonna reapply to re-deepen this and just blend into that light shade that we put down. Now on the other side, we're doing Ice Chill, and we're doing the exact same thing. We're putting it on the inner part of the crease, blending it upwards, but not into the inner corner. And then we're doing a little bit on the edge to blend it out and under as well. So this is Snowflake, the one that has the green to purple. And I did spray this because I want to get it to be as opaque as possible. I want to be as detailed as possible, and I want to avoid fallout to the best of my ability. And I just spray it with whatever setting spray I have in front of me. Right now it is the Fresh Prince setting spray from Glamlight, like literally whatever I have in front of me. If you find one with glycerin in it, that's the best you can do, because that one makes it a little bit more sticky. But overall for me, most of them have worked out, unless it's one that has oils in it, because that might break. One of those like dewy setting sprays might not work because it might break down the shadows. But if it's that setting spray, you're usually good. That's really cute. And you can see the purple shift there. Okay. And on the other side, we're doing Crystal, which is a blue to purple. Oh, that's really nice. Now you can definitely see the difference, because I will say there's a difference, but it's not like an immense amount of difference between the green and the blue. But now that we are getting the shimmer on, I feel like you can see it even more. Okay, I will say I was not able to fully avoid fallout. Especially this blue one is a little bit more on the flaky side, but I am going to use the one that's called Snow Blanket, which is like an... It is an almost white, but it has a slight, almost like an olive undertone, like a white with an olive undertone. I don't know if that makes sense, but we are going to be using that in our inner corners. That's also one way to really make two different eye looks go together. Same inner corner shade, same outer corner shade. Like if you ground them both with a white and a black, it's all gonna look like it belongs a little better. And at least this is like an almost white. And I think that this actually works pretty good. And they both have that purple like shift to them. I think it's really pretty. It's really cool. It's like different, but you don't notice it like straight away. I think I'm gonna try and do... I'm gonna do a mint. I might do a mint on one side and I'll do prance on the other side. So they're both like a pastel waterline, so they match in depth, but just a little bit different in tone. This one was in Icebreaker. That was the mint one. And then we'll do prance, of course. My favorite one, we'll do that on the other side. And then let me just finish up with some mascara and lashes. I mean, overall, I think that everything looks really cool. And now that I got the shimmers on, you can truly see that it is like a blue eye and a green eye. And it's also really matching my nails, which is making me really happy. The one thing that I will say, I don't love the flavor of the lip gloss. There is like this slight, like almost like when you spray yourself with like hairspray in the mouth accidentally. It's almost that kind of aftertaste. And I will say, I'm very sensitive towards that. There has been lip products that I have said like, oh, I don't like the flavor of this. And I've had friends that been like, what flavor? So that is a personal thing for sure. Do really like the eyeshadow. I think it is really pretty. I'm really enjoying that they're making some lighter mattes because their palettes have been almost like light mid-tone, sometimes dark, but it's never been leaning like super, super light. And I like that there's a couple of more pastels in here. I do enjoy that a lot. I will say I wouldn't mind if they're... Okay, and I say this with a lot of brands. I think that like Nomad Cosmetics did this kind of layout for a long time. And I know Blend Bunny has their special layout. And I like when brands have something that's theirs, but I also don't mind if they step away from that. I wouldn't mind seeing something where not everything in the row is the same tone. It makes it easier to make it look like this. It really does. But I wouldn't mind seeing something a little bit different because it's not that easy to put a look together that has more than 2 or 3 mattes when all the mattes in one row and all the mattes in one row are the exact same depth. So that's just something that I would like to see for the future because I really enjoy the formula and I love the color stories that they come out with. And I like the packaging is slim cardboard packaging. It's like a sturdy, more heavy duty cardboard packaging, which is something that I really appreciate. Oh, and the blush, it's looking a little gray on me here. I like the formula of the blush. I think the formula was really beautiful. It's just that the actual tones of this is matching a little bit more like the tone of the palette, which is a little bit more of a cool tone palette, so it makes sense. But together with the highlighter, I do think it looks really pretty, and overall I do feel like I look pretty smashing. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna go have lunch with my friends. I hope you're having an amazing day, and you are gonna be able to see look number 3 coming right now. Are gonna do a look with Bitten by Gourmande Girls, but I forgot to put a lippy on. These from Colourpop. I love the lip oils, but the stopper is a little bit too much. I thought a red lip oil would be perfect because we are gonna do a super dramatic classic smoky eye. I'm gonna show you the easiest and best way of doing a super dramatic matte eye look. Like, how do you get it to look blended and to look even? And this is in the shade Beverly Drive. It's one of these Colourpop ones. Ooh, I see I have the wrong settings because you see how It's too blurry. Hold. There we go. That's better. I'm gonna start with an eye primer. If you do not use an eye primer when you are doing your eyeshadows, you are already working at a disadvantage. You are fighting an uphill battle. I'm telling you right now, most eyeshadows, I'm gonna go out on a limb and even say all eyeshadows work better with an eye primer. Some of them I would even argue to say don't work at all without an eye primer, and then with an eye primer is my favorite formula ever. It's just the way that shadows behave on top of something that is just too dry and doesn't have a grip to them. So the eye primer helps with performance, but it also helps with longevity, and it helps with the blending capabilities. So we are going to be using this one, Hellmouth, and we are going to be doing a purple one. So we're going to use Shapeshifter, I hope you can hear me, and then we're going to blend it out with this one that is Immortal. So my trick to making a smoky eye dramatic and blended is to start with the middle shade, which is going to be Shapeshifter. And I like working with something that is poofy but still very dense, and this one is perfect. This is my own brush brand. This is Singe Beauty E06. So we are taking this one, and you can see I'm pushing it in to the crease, which is where you see when I open my eyes, it's here, and then when I close my eyes, it's where the fold is. So we are going to follow that with this mid color all the way. And you can see I am pushing it in, and then I'm wiggling to make sure that it is even, and we're not leaving a lot of space that doesn't get covered by shadow, and also wiggling because this brush is pinched and it is fluffy but still dense. When I wiggle like this, we're also blending the edge. That's the beauty of a brush like this. It's packing and blending at the same time with these small little wiggle motions. And now you can see we're left with this, which is where we want to start out. Now when we are like this, it is like defined. It's not choppy, but it's also not smooth. We are picking up the shade Immortal, and this is an E04. You can see this is one of my samples actually, and it's still looking pretty good. And it's also pinched, but this one is even denser and even more almost rectangular. So I'm putting the shadow on here, and then I'm putting it on the edge, not up, on the edge, and I'm dotting the lighter shade on. It looks crazy to begin with. Trust the process. I'm putting it on, and then small circular motions again. I'm almost rubbing it in to diffuse this line even more, and then with even lighter, I'm going above and just blending it out, so that this upper line is super soft and smoky again. The smoke is something that like dissolves. You can't really see the shape of it. It just dissolves into, but not all the way up to the brow. And then you see you get this edge here. That's fine. We'll go back with the dark purple again. And this part, that doesn't matter. We're gonna put something dark over there. And you just go back and forth on this line, and small circular motions, and we are diffusing this. And now we're going in with a dark purple that's called Shapeshifter, and just adding a little bit on the brush. We're going in with the same shape that we did before, and we're just blending this dark purple into the light purple to make sure that it looks blended again. You can always go back and forth. That's my biggest tip. Go back and forth. You don't even have to add any more eyeshadow. You can just use whatever is left on the brush, and you just go back and forth, because it is not important how this part is looking. It is important how this upper part is looking. I'm also going to do the exact same on the lower lash line. And then go in with the lighter one and blend, so that we get the exact same smokiness all around the eye. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, and this is where we're gonna go in with Hellmouth, which is an almost black purple, even darker than this one. And I'm going in with the same E04, and I am picking that up, and now I am pushing this in, picking up more, pushing it in. And again, Here, I feel like it's very easy for us to think like, oh, I'm doing a lid shade, so I should be doing a flat shader. Unless you are doing, which you could do the EO1, which is a flat shader, but it is a little bit more poofy and it is tapered, so it's perfect for matte shadows. But if you're doing a matte eye look and you need to blend it into the crease, don't think flat shader, think stubby, more a blender kind of a brush that you can push it in, but also blend the edges, because you're not working with a shimmer, you're working with a matte. So a flat shader is great for shimmers, great for metallics on the lid, but not so great for mattes on the lid. So this is an EO4. Again, this is my favorite brush. This one and the EO1, favorite brushes that I have done, because I could literally do my entire eye look with this, because it picks products up, it puts it down, it blends it, and look already. It is dark, it is sultry, it is not patchy, and I'm just pushing, 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 and all the way up to the darkness of the crease. And then all we have to do now is just a very easy blend in between, because we already did the groundwork with putting the darkness in here. We already made this happen. And I am putting it all the way into the inner corner, but not in the inner corner. And I'm not blending it higher than the crease because, again, we don't want it to be black all the way up to the brow. We want it to be on the lid. We already did the crease. So I'm just, with the same brush and no additional product, I am just very gently rubbing on the edges to make sure that it is blending into that dark purple. And we are done. That's the look. Honestly, this isn't that hard. It is all about the right technique, the right brushes, and knowing what to start with. I'm trying to find, here. I'm trying to find an EO7. So I'm gonna use a little bit more of the darkest shadow, and we are gonna push that on the lower lash line closest to the lash line, just to make sure that this is matching all the way. And again, I'm putting it all the way into the inner corner, but not into the inner corner. And there it is. It is blended, it is dark, it is very sultry, and honestly, it's quite easy. I'm gonna be honest with you, and no fallout. I'm gonna do black in my waterline. I'm gonna finish this up and we can see how it looks, because this is drama. It's so cold in Austin today, which is like crazy, but my hair is actually like getting almost static because we're having snow today in Austin. I know, who would have thought? But I really like this look. Like, it is so dark and dramatic, and it is giving like early 2000s smoky eye, going to the club, which, I mean, I'm all about. I used to do looks like this. I mean, let's be honest, not as good as this, but I used to do black on my lid every time going out to the club. It was my thing. But overall, I think that the mattes in this palette perform beautifully. I am so impressed by these mattes. I love the color story of this palette. I think overall, Gourmande Girls always makes really, really good palettes. Some I like more than others, but this one I can already tell is going to be a favorite. It's going to be something that I reach for because it has a lot of those tones that I really love. And when I'm looking for something that's like a really deep one, these are the tones I'm looking for. And this look is so spectacular. So I really enjoyed this. Let's get into the next one. We are doing a look with the Unearthly Cosmetics new remastered version of the Not Normal palette. Is on, and I am wearing, I think it's called Mandy. This is the, oh my gosh, this is a liquid lipstick from Unearthly Cosmetics in Mandy, and I feel like over applied a little bit. So let's dig into Not Normal. So I did swatch this one, Topaz, and I really want to use that one, and I want to do something. I mean, I have green lipstick on. Clearly my mind is made up. So I am gonna do this one, and I'm gonna do this one, and I want to do Topaz. I'm feeling that, okay? Listen, maybe I'm predictable. Let's go in. I think when you're seeing this video, I have announced my new brushes. I'm gonna go in with an EO10, which is a very dense outer corner brush, and I'm gonna do Emerald. Is the microphone like, can you hear me? Hello? So I'm gonna, oh, look at that. I'm gonna do Emerald. Oh boy. That is so nice. I was feeling a green, and I'm just gonna work this in. Again, this is a very dense brush, so it's perfect for packing and slightly blending the colors in the outer corner. I am living for that. So I'm gonna do the blob. We're doing a blob, which is just almost like if you dropped like a piece of ink and it just blobbed out in your outer corner. I'm not going in. I'm not doing the V. I am doing a blob in the outer, like 1/3 of the lid. So this is the shade Exercise, and I forgot to say that this is the remastered version of Not Normal. This one is bigger than the original. It has more shades, but it still has the same like tone and feeling like the original palette, which was a muted purple, bright greens with a couple of neutrals thrown in, and this one definitely still has that same feel. You can see I'm putting this one in the inner part of the lid because it's a lighter shade, and it's looking weird right now, but again, trust the process. And I'm blending in between, and I'm blending this one upwards, and now I'm taking some of that, and again, we are putting it on the edge. Exact same as we did with the last look. We are just going to be blending on the edge, and these are a little bit more farther from each other, so we're probably going to have to go back and forth. But I didn't want to start with this shade, because if I started with this shade and then put the other green on top of it, this part here wouldn't be that bright grassy green, because the shadow that we're blending it out with is such a warm yellow leaning, almost murky lime. Is that a shade? I don't know. And now I'm going back and I'm blending on this edge, again making sure that these are blended together. Okay, now we're gonna go into Topaz, which is this here. It's a very nice golden, like a greeny gold to a peach. And I'm going in with the flat shader. Again, this is also one that's being launched now, and this is the EO9. This is perfect for picking up really creamy shades or shades that you want to be like more foiled, because it's already making it super flat. And I also made this little paddle shape so that you can be detailed with it, but at the same time cover not too small of a surface. And as you can see, it just lays down shadows beautifully, and this shadow is stunning as well. So we're getting that contrast between the super yellowy and the more like almost grassy cool tone, not cool tone, but like more neutral green at the outer corner. I think I'm gonna do a little bit on the lower lash line too. I'm just doing that on the edge of the brush. Just a little bit like that, but I honestly think that that looks great. And now I'm going back with Emerald, and I'm just doing a little wedge in here to keep this at a nice eye shape and to make sure that this edge is not too choppy. But I think that that looks really, really good. I'm gonna get myself an EO1, and there is a shade here called Basic, which is a very fitting name. And I am actually gonna do that in my inner corner to brighten this look up. You can still do a matte inner corner even though you're using a shimmer shade all the way to the inner corner. It doesn't mean you have to do it in the inner corner. And I'm just gonna blend this out. I apply a thicker amount and then I blend it out. And we blend it a little bit inwards here. And we just brighten this up. And I think it looks spectacular, like so pretty. Let's see if we can blend a little bit more here. What a fun green look this is. I mean, I even put green earrings on. I got these as a gift from my husband. Such beautiful. I think it is it's a gemstone, but I don't remember which one, but it's like a green one and I really like it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this look and I knew I wanted to do something green because I feel like I love green. Green, I mean, I love all eyeshadow colors, but there's something about green, especially like warm greens together with yellows. It just makes me super, super happy and excited. And I really enjoy that this palette offers that. I like that she brought this palette back with smaller pans, because these are the smaller pans, and also with an updated color story that included a couple of more colors and just made this fit in with the kind of palettes that she has right now, because she has more of this size of palette in her range, and I think it looks beautiful. I am super, super excited. And we are gonna do a 5th look now. I know sometimes I do 4 palettes for looks and sometimes I do 6 palettes, 6 looks. And as of late, right now, it is, I feel like end of the year, September, October, November, there's a lot of holiday and Halloween palettes coming out. And then when we get to January, end of January, there is a lot of like Valentine's collections coming out. And that's what most of these palettes have been, let's be honest. So there is going to be 2 more palettes because I do know that there's some coming in. So you're going to see a 5th look right now, but I am not 100% sure what it's going to be, but I am fairly sure that one of them is going to be Bella Beauté Bar. I'm so excited to be diving into the new Fantasy Cosmetica. I thought I was going to do Bella Beauté Bar, but Bella Beauté Bar is going to be the next look, the last look. So this is going to be the Monk palette. And look at this. Is this not made for me? It's yellow and orange and some brown. We're just going to do my signature look. As you're seeing this, I haven't swatched this, but you've seen swatches already. But this looks so delicious. I want to play with this one and this one. Actually, I'm gonna do something that's like, I don't want to say signature look because I feel like that's so pretentious. I'm trying not to be pretentious, and I am gonna go in, oh, this one is a sample because you can see it has no text on it. But this is the new EO10 and I'm going in with Stillness, which is the dark brown, and I am just gonna do something that I love. And who would have thought? Because like, I always said like, oh, what's your favorite color? And I've always said like, oh, my favorite color is the rainbow. But you know what? My favorite color really is a yellow or an orange. And I like them to be muted, but not neutral. A little bit like that 70s groovy retro kind of a feel. And I just really love those. I did get this top. Actually, as I'm filming today, I got this top from my bestie as a birthday gift because it is my birthday as I'm filming this. But as you're seeing this, it was my birthday more than a week ago. But I am turning 41 today and I am traveling to Orlando today to go to Disney with my husband and my best friend. They've never been to Orlando and Lisa's never been to Disney at all. And that's my treat to her for her birthday, and she got me this beautiful top, and it's so beautiful because it's like, she's very goth, and it's like her style but also my style because it has that like yellowy caramel print on it, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me really happy. These kind of colors, I just love them. So we are gonna do something that I feel good in today. I'm gonna do like this, and I'm gonna clean this brush off. I'm just cleaning it on like a Sigma switch that I have in front of me and just getting rid of most of the color. And now I'm just gonna buff on this edge with no additional color before I go in with the mustard. As I am filming this, I don't know when this palette is being released. There's a couple of like really like fresh brand new palettes in this video, so check the description box for more info, or I might have even had the info because I haven't filmed the intro yet as I'm filming this look, and you can check out when this is being released. I do think I have codes with most of the brands that I'm talking about today, and you can get 10% off with the code Angelica. I'm so excited to dive into the Bella Beauté bar one as well. But yeah, I'm getting on a flight today, and I just want to sit down and read and just enjoy my birthday. My husband got me AirPods because I've never had anything like that, and he's like, I think you're gonna really enjoy this, especially now that you're traveling so much, because there's a little noise canceling. He's always like thinking like practical like that, because he knows if I like something, I'll just buy it for myself. Let's be honest, I'll just buy it for myself. But he's the one that's like, this is something that you wouldn't buy for yourself, but you would really enjoy it. So let's do Channel, which is that like mustardy color that's up here. That looks so beautiful, and I'm gonna put that in the inner part here, and I'm also gonna blend out the edge with this one. Look at that shade. Ugh. I absolutely love it. When we got the PR, because Fantasy Cosmetica always sends out this little like PR like questionnaire, basically being like, what would you like to receive in PR? And when she sent this out, there was like a place where you could leave more information, and I just left, I love this color. Because I do, because I already knew what this was gonna look like when I got it, but it's even prettier in real life than it is in picture. And I'm just, if you love yellow brown, like if you love the same colors as me, oh my gosh, this is stunning. And what I do when I got the yellow on is I go back with the dark brown and I reapply it to make sure that it's deep, and then I start blending it into the yellow to make sure that we have a somewhat okay blend. I love that. I'm not too worried about this part because we will put a shimmer on. Okay, I'm putting some of the dark brown under my eyes, and with my beautiful little pencil brush, I'm putting the mustard underneath. And then we're gonna do a shimmer. I just love a look like this. I feel like 90s Vixen Bombshell meets the 70s in the best way. Okay, there are honestly any of these shimmers would work with this look, but I am very intrigued by this one. It's called Flow, and I kind of, because it looks like it's like a gold that has some like almost like a peach iridescence in there, and I'm like very intrigued. So I am gonna do my new flat shader. I'm gonna clean that off a bit, and let's do Flow. This picks up so beautifully. Look at that on the brush. Oh, I did spray it, and oh, that is so pretty. Yeah, if you like very high intensity shimmers, that is always what Fantasy Cosmetica does, and that is stunning. Oh, you can see there's a little like almost like a green iridescence to that, and I can see a little bit of a peach shift in it here too. That is gorgeous. I usually do something light in my inner corner, but I think I'm gonna do Stun just on a small pencil brush, and I am just gonna not blow it out, but I'm just gonna do a little bit in my inner corner just to give it that like yellow, you can see like a little pop, to just keep with the look, because it is lighter than the rest of the look, but it is not light enough so that I would like blow it out. But I will accentuate my inner corner with this super bright yellow shade, and I will keep it like that. I think I'm gonna do brown in my waterline. I know, who am I? This is, I never remember which is which. This is Sunnyvale by Colourpop, and I guess lashes and done. Like, look at this. This is such a me look, and this makes me so happy. Last year, the best palette of the year, according to me, was Fantasy Cosmetica's, what was it called? Harvest of Souls, which is being restocked, by the way. And I'm like, I can already tell that this palette, ooh, it will be up there. So I would say my overall impressions with this palette is that I really, really enjoy it. This is a me color story. This is something that I really enjoy. And from the shadows that I've used so far, I would say this is the really good Fantasy Cosmetica formula that I know and love from the recent palettes that they've released. And this is just a color story that is very much up my alley. I am so excited to be playing more with this. If there was anything I would change with this palette, it is that one of these shadows would have been an even lighter, like in a matte inner corner highlight. But that's a personal preference. And I know not everybody uses that. So I shouldn't be asking for stuff that might not even be what the brand owner herself, like Jordan, likes to use. So I do really love this palette. So far, I've done one look, but it's an insta love from me. Okay, time to play with the Morally Grey collection by Bella Beauté bar. It's finally here. This is the last look that I'm filming, and I'm so excited. So the eyeshadow palette looks like this. It's like a pink, gray, black kind of a thing. And I thought as I'm filming this, I haven't swatched any of this, but I thought that we would do something that I haven't done in a long time, which is a halo eye, but you do the halo with a dark shimmer. It's a little bit easier of a way to do a halo eye if you're new to halo eye. So I thought we'd do that one today, just because I want to show you the technique, because it's been a while since I did it. So we're going to be using this one and, well, one of the other shimmers. I haven't decided yet, but we're gonna dig into the highlighters first. You've already seen them. It is Skin of a Killer and Morally Grey, and the Morally Grey one is the one that's a little bit darker, and then Skin of a Killer is a little lighter. So I was thinking we'll do a little bit darker, lighter, maybe, right? So let me grab a highlighter brush. I'm gonna do my Cinch highlighter brush. This is F07, and it is like very much like textured. So let's see how this looks. Okay, this is very sparkly. If you don't like a sparkly highlighter, this will not be for you. But you can see there are some sparkle particles. It's very much a wet look though. I think that this would be a perfect highlighter for like going out or when you want to be like a little special extra. I like that it is this like mauvey pink undertone to it, because I'm wearing it as a blush topper, but I definitely think that if you have like a tan skin tone or darker, that you could definitely get away with this one, because like the undertone is almost transparent. It's very nice. Okay, that's pretty nice. I don't want to be too sparkly, too close to the... Okay, same brush, and let's do Skin of a Killer, which is this, I don't know if you can see, it's so light. It's like, yeah, vampire skin. Oh, that is very cool. This one has almost a little bit of a blue sparkle to it. This one has more of a pink sparkle. This one has a little bit almost like a cooler, icier blue undertone to it. Definitely, I think you can see. It's definitely less pink than the other one. It has more of an icy, cool hit to it. I mean, it's definitely not a subtle highlighter, and if you don't like sparkly highlighters, I don't think this will be for you, but they're definitely fun. And there's something fun about having a collection that has like a small eyeshadow palette and 2 highlighters. I do like that. So let us start with this one. I think I'm gonna start with Mixed Feelings, which is the mauve one. And I'm so excited that I now can use my new brushes. This is the FO8. I did my announcement today, and now I don't know, it's just something so exciting about like they're finally out in the open. This is much lighter than I thought. They're out in the open. They are launching on Friday. I'm so happy to have more new brushes in the line. I just think these are such a good addition. So if you love cinch brushes, I definitely think you'll love these too. And if you've never tried cinch brushes, these might be a good place to start. Because even though this is the expansion set, you could still definitely do a full eye look with them. Because there is a fluffy brush, there's an outer corner brush, there's a pencil brush, there's a lid brush, and there is an eyeliner brush. So it is like expanding on shapes for the line, but still in itself creating almost like a new core set, with just different shapes. Okay, I started like that just to have something as a transition, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a smaller brush. I'm actually gonna do the E10, and we are gonna do Shades of Gray, which is dark gray. And now we're just gonna build on in the crease a little bit. You see, I'm just going a little bit back and forth. I just want to have the crease be a little bit darker, but I'm not per se creating that halo shape yet. And I'm just using this to get it in the absolute crease. And then we're gonna just buff and blend it upwards into that transition shade. So this is what it ends up looking, just like gray in the crease blended into the mauve shade. And I'm gonna do the exact same shades on the lower lash line. And I'm using the pencil brush now to do the mauve shade, just for me to have something to blend out with. And now the gray, Shades of Gray, just creating the same look. I'm gonna go back to my trusted EO1, and we are gonna use a Not a Villain. This is where we start doing the halo eye. I am gonna spray this because I want to make sure that it sticks where it's supposed to stick. So I'm taking outer part of the lid, I'm putting the shimmer, not in the middle. And then same inner part of the lid. Oh wait, I should probably spray it again. Because again, let's try and see if we can get it to stick and be very precise. There we go. You can see I'm doing the halo with the shimmers. And I'm just putting it out here. And I'm dotting on the edge to blend it into the crease. And then I'm thinking, I almost want to do this one, the little purpley one. Let's do that one in the middle. It's called Indecisive. And we're putting that in the middle, still with the shimmers. And then we are blending and pushing, adding a little bit more. And just pushing on the edges. And you can see it's just a little bit lighter in the middle. And then darker on the sides. And I'm gonna go back with the brush that I had for the gray. And I'm just gonna make sure that everything is like blended together. Just going over a little bit. But that's pretty much it. A very easy halo eye, and it is super easy to do a halo eye like this because it's always easier to blend two shimmers together than a matte, so that it will be easier for you to get a non-patchy lid if you're using the shimmers on the side as well. I think that that looks great. There is a black here that's called Not a Hero, and I might do a little bit of that on, yeah, like this, just to intensify the lower lash line a bit. I never do this, but I thought I'd try a metallic. This is Karaoke Night by Colourpop, and I thought, I don't even think that this has been swatched, but I thought since we are doing such a gray and metallic look, I was like, what if Oh my god, I'm so kooky. I just never do metallics. I usually do light, like pastel matte ones. But I actually really like, and I think this really fits the look. I actually really like how that looks. Okay. Look at me trying something new. Let's do the light matte one. It is called Moral Compass, which is that one here. Oh, should we do the pink one? Let's do the pink one. Let's do the pink one. And let's just let that be a little bit of a pastel moment in the inner corner. So that's the pastel pink. That's actually quite cute. I'm gonna blow it out a little bit to let this be part of the look. Oh, that's actually cute. Okay, okay. Let me put on a half lash and we can talk about this collection. Okay, that was the finished look and I think it looks really pretty. And I mean, the shimmers are incredibly intense. And I like doing this more, a little bit more, not easy, but like easier kind of a halo eye, because I know halo eyes can be a little tricky sometimes with fiddling with like the matte shadows and everything. So I just wanted to give you a different approach to it. And I really enjoy so far the quality of this palette, even though I will say, and you know what I'm gonna say, this isn't the kind of color story that I go for. I do love pinks, and I do love that there's like an almost black metallic. I love that. I mean, I've done that myself in a collab palette that I've done. Absolutely love that. Love that there's deeper shades, lighter shades. This is almost like an indie version of the mini Xenon palette by Natasha Denona, but instead of being like all grays, there is a little bit of pinks, and then there's more special shades in here, multichromes, holographic shadows. If you like cool tones, if you want to get a different touch on like cool tones, I think that this is definitely a good alternative. Oh, the highlighters, very intense. You can see when you're like a little bit more far from, you can be like, oh, those like a super intense wet look. But when you get closer, you do definitely see some sparkle of like glitter and stuff. So that's just a personal preference. I don't mind that. And I used to be the person who loved a sparkly highlighter. And I am sure that one day the pendulum will swing and I will go back to loving that again. Right now, I'm just in the period where I'm like, loving other things instead, but I still think that it is really pretty. Overall, I think this is great quality. It's not my favorite color story. Let's talk about 6 different palettes. I started doing this kind of a video because there were so many like releases happening at the same time, and I knew that if I was gonna do dedicated videos, I would have ended up doing none. Because I wouldn't be able to just pick one palette and do a video on it, because it is not good for the algorithm to put up 6 videos that get 7,000 views each. It would be better if I could have one video that gets like 12,000-13,000 views for me, for my algorithm. So for me, this was just a way to, nobody gets left behind. Every palette gets to be showcased because there are so many good launches happening at the same time. So I actually really enjoy this format, and I enjoy seeing more creators doing it as well, because you just can't keep up. Like, something's gotta give, and I am really happy to see so many more people doing this, because I feel like it also sends a message to indie brands that if you want to get a dedicated video, maybe not release like this much. Although I will say not all of these brands release a lot. Which is my favorite palette? I didn't have any problems with any of these palettes. I personally thought that all of these palettes performed really good. The Bella Beauté bar isn't my absolute favorite color story, and I also will say with the Blend Bunny one, after swatching this one, the one that I used, the bright pink shimmer, it's more of a traditional, almost old school shimmer, and I think all of the other shimmers are a little bit more impactful in this one. I kind of wish that this one had a little bit more substance to it, but other than that, I do think that it is a really good palette. I think personally my favorite palette is probably the Monk palette, because this is my jam. This is my color story. I mean, I made my entire brand around this kind of a color because I love oranges, I love yellows, I love this, like, I call them like retro 70s colors, like a shag rug, but make it eyeshadows. I absolutely love, I think it's beautiful. I also will say this is stunning, and this is such an interesting take on just Valentine's makeup without making it sugary, sweet, and pink. I think it's really, really fun, and it's just a palette that will work throughout the entirety of the year. I really like the quality of these as well, and I love the Not Normal from before, and I'm so excited that she decided to redo it to fit in with the rest of the line. I think these colors are just beautiful, and I love Simply Posh Cosmetics. This is just, again, a little bit more cool toned and muted, which I love cool tones, but when they're bright and cool tones, this is a little bit more muted and cool tones. But I would love to hear which is your favorite. Again, I did say it in the beginning of the video, a couple of these are launching either today or around this date, so don't forget to check the description box for more info. But I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you probably on Friday for new makeup releases. Bye!